Actually, starting a Popeyes franchise can be a great opportunity. I mean, monetarily speaking, but also in terms of the commercial impact of it, in terms of market share. So, into this conversation, I want to really talk to you about how to start a Popeyes franchise this year. So, here are the general considerations I want you to really think about. Okay, so basically, Popeyes Louisiana chicken actually made headlines back in 2019 when they actually added a chicken sandwich to their food lineup. I mean, a lot of folks love it. I mean, even though we were still back then in COVID time, people were still actually enjoying the food anyway. Okay, so chicken lovers are queued outside of franchise locations everywhere, trying to get their hands on the spicy sandwich, which actually sold out nationwide. It was really big. Okay, so it's a really well documented that Popeyes has a loyal and enthusiastic fan base, including including me. Okay, so when you think about Popeyes, I want you to really understand that you have a very successful brand. Okay, that actually was started back in 1972. So they've been kicking ass for the last 50 to 60 years. That's really fantastic. Okay, and so they actually rose to popularity for the delicious flavors that the company offers to its customers. So, based on the menu inspired by New Orleans, Louisiana, and Cajun and Creole heritages, Popeyes creates a unique business experience, and that's for sure, incorporating this many regional flavors into the company's fried chicken. So, everything revolves around the fried chicken, really, okay? And in 2017, Popeyes was acquired by Restaurant Brand International, the same company that owns Burger King and Tim Hortons. So you have a big player behind Popeyes really this year, or even since 2017. So Popeyes actually is currently the fifth largest operator of fast food restaurants, behind only Starbucks, McDonald's, Yum Brands, and Subway. That's really big. Okay, that tells you a lot how big the company is. However, Popeyes does not just offer fried chicken as a menu item. They have kept their flavor palette actually and diversified into offering spicy chicken tenders, and fried shrimp. I mean, the fried shrimp is really good. I mean, boss, I'm telling you, you have to really try it. Even if you're not interested in starting a Popeyes franchise, you got to try the shrimp. So while selling healthy food is certainly not their market, they have distinguished themselves by trying to represent the original cuisine flavors of Louisiana. So that's really fantastic. And right now you have about 2,700 locations in North America, and the Popeyes franchise has seemed to prove itself pretty resilient, regardless of the economy. By the way, let me give you a little bit of evaluation here. So, what are the advantages of owning a Popeyes franchise this year? Let's talk about that. First of all, you have a popular brand. That's really that's a biggie. You have a popular brand. So franchise, when you think about Popeyes franchise, I want you to really focus on the sheer popularity with people. You don't need to go searching for customers. Many people are already well aware of Popeyes chicken, and they love the chance to eat at one of their restaurants. So the restaurant franchise has seemingly proved its ability to operate profitably. You also have expansion opportunities. So if this is your first franchise or your first Popeyes franchise, you're also in for good news. Why? Because should you experience a lot of success with your first franchise location, you can expand to other locations in the future. And while some franchises do not allow you to have multiple locations, Popeyes will allow you to purchase additional franchises in the future. And this can increase your earnings as a franchise owner by actually obtaining multiple business licenses for your franchises and running them successfully. And so put differently, starting your franchise business journey with Popeyes is actually a great start. You also have a limited territory guarantee. That's another plus when it comes to Popeyes. Basically, you are able to, Popeyes offers you what's called a limited territory guarantee. This essentially means that you will not need to worry about competing with local Popeyes franchises. If you are approved, Popeyes Corporate will not allow other franchises to open up within a certain radius of your franchise, and this can help you take care of some of the concerns with local competition. This is an especially important advantage because not all franchisors will grant you this sort of guarantee, and since Popeyes offers this in their contract, is really great. You also have training, okay? So Popeyes will train you. They have an extensive training program to actually walk you through their business model. So now there are some disadvantages of owning a Popeyes. So you have a high initial investment. Okay, I'll speak about money later on, but you have a very high initial investment. You also have a downsides to a limited territory guarantee. So while you do have an advantage of a limited territory guarantee from corporate, that limited territory guarantee is not necessarily the best guarantee in the industry. So corporate Popeyes can limit that guarantee to have a radius of essentially less than a mile. This means what? It means that a different Popeyes franchise may open in the future less than a mile from where you are. You also have heavy competition. I mean, the fast food industry is a pretty tough one to be in, so it is what it is. Let me talk about the cost here. So if you want to start a Popeyes franchise this year, how much do you really need? Let's talk about that. So the initial franchise fee for a Popeyes restaurant is $50,000, and the total estimated investment per location is between $235,000 to $454,000. So you're looking at $250,000 to $500,000. So why the large window in estimated cost? Don't forget that real estate prices can vary depending on the location. So the geography will play an important role. So a franchise owner in New York City is going to have a much higher real estate cost than, say, a franchise owner in Baton Rouge. Okay, so you want to factor that into your considerations when determining where you are likely falling on the total investment range. So beyond those estimated initial costs, there are ongoing fees. So of your gross sales, approximately 4% is allocated to a marketing fund and 5% covers royalty fees. So you're looking at 9% already. So although the initial franchise fee is $50,000, there are ways to lower it. So if you qualify, let's say if you qualify for their Veterans Development Incentive Program or their Women and Minorities Development Incentive Program, you may be able to trim $22,500 off the fee and get it to a far more reasonable $27,500. So that's really something to really think about. So the question is, do you have the cash? I mean, because Popeyes is asking you to make sure that you have the cash right away. And also, there are cases where Popeyes will ask you for a net worth requirement. So the net worth requirements is $1 million. And in terms of, they also have liquidity requirements, $500,000. So something to think about, okay? So the franchise fee, $50,000. Initial investments, $250,000 to $500,000, and in some cases can go all the way to $1 million. You have the net worth requirements, $1 million, and you have the liquidity requirement, $500,000. And on top of that, you have, like I said a little earlier, you have a royalty fee, 5%, and you have an ad fee, 4%. So right off the bat, you are paying like 9% of your revenue every single year to Popeyes corporate anyway. So just think about that. Now, when you think about if you were to compare and contrast, like Chick-fil-A, for instance, the initial franchise fee is $10,000 for Chick-fil-A. For Wendy's, $40,000. For McDonald's, $45,000. For KFC, $45,000. For Burger King, $50,000. So you can see that the $50,000 that Popeyes is charging you is pretty high compared to the competition. So what are the conditions here? So Popeyes franchise requirements. So I already spoke to you about the net worth requirements of $1 million, the liquidity requirements of $500,000. That means what? You need to have $500,000 in liquid assets. They must be accessible. So ideally, Popeyes is looking for franchisees with experience in the restaurant business. But if you don't have, if for any reason you don't have a restaurant experience, that's not a deal breaker. The key is a general business experience and a clear commitment to Popeyes, okay? And so if you are interested in potential future expansion, that's even better, okay? Popeyes wants to see a commitment from you, resilience too. So the thing is that when it comes to first of all, you got to really think about the location. Of course, I spoke to you about the money. Yeah, that's true. But you got to think about the location too. So if you are considering opening a location, you want to really make sure that you're really, you've talked to Popeyes corporate for sure, but also making sure that you are within a radius that's not going to cause competition to another franchisee. Popeyes also shares some criteria for evaluating your application, which is not, and those criteria are not strictly financial. So it's important that you meet both the financial and general requirements for your franchise application to be accepted by Popeyes Corporate. So, like the experience for sure, but also making sure that you don't have any kind of legal problems, like let us say a prison time or whatever. Okay, they don't check your FICO score, by the way. They do not check that. But yeah, and one thing I want to say here is that if you meet the franchise financial requirements, perhaps you are ready to jump right into the process of becoming a Popeyes franchise owner. So you need to contact actually franchising at Popeyes.com. So that's the email I want you to really reach out to, franchising at Popeyes.com. And so that's how you can get the ball rolling. There's a lot of information that needs to be listed in your email. Make sure you include your name, your email, your phone number, your net worth, your liquid assets, your willingness to relocate, whether you have a previous restaurant experience, where you are currently located, whether you're willing to relocate, and how many restaurants you would ideally like to open. So they want to see. I'm going to put this on the screen so you have a clear idea, but they want to have as much info about you as possible before they can consider your email, if you will. Now, when you think about starting a Popeyes franchise, basically you have a lot of rivals, by the way, and you can think about that maybe Popeyes is not for you. You can try others. Okay, so basically you have top alternatives to Popeyes franchise this year. You can think about KFC, Chick-fil-A, and Wingstop, by the way. So Popeyes was initially started as a competitor to KFC. So if you feel that the financial commitments for Popeyes are too high, or something else is causing you to second guess whether it's the right choice, KFC is a solid alternative option. So the initial franchise fee for KFC, as I said to you a little earlier, is $45,000, which is $5,000 less than the fee for Popeyes. So when it comes to ongoing fees for running a KFC franchise, you can expect to pay 5% of gross revenue as a royalty fee and 5% of gross revenue for advertising. So that's 10%. Compared to the 9% that Popeyes is charging you. And one of the added benefits of becoming a KFC franchisee is your ability to open multi-brand locations with other Yum brand restaurants. So if you're interested in opening a combination of KFC, Taco Bell, and or Pizza Hut under one roof, that's a possibility. You also have Chick-fil-A. So if one of the factors causing you to question whether Popeyes is the right fit for you, if that's the $50,000 franchise fee, think about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A actually, the franchise fee for Chick-fil-A is only $10,000, considerably lower than most of its competitors. So there are a few potential deal breakers for you if you are interested in joining the Chick-fil-A franchise family. The biggest is that the Chick-fil-A franchise program is designed so that they retain ownership of all real estate and equipment. This is great for keeping your initial franchise cost low. But unfortunately, it also means that you will not own any equity. So upon your retirement, you cannot sell or pass down the restaurant you worked to build. For many potential franchisees, not having an equity stake is enough to cause them to look elsewhere for their small business dreams, okay? And so also all Chick-fil-A franchises must also close on Sundays. So this will cut into your profit, but it also means that you only have to work 6 days a week. So ultimately, it's a trade-off that you have to weigh. So, okay, we also have to mention that Chick-fil-A is no stranger to controversy and has been subject to boycotts and other negative press. You also have Wingstop. So if you're interested in a chicken restaurant, you can even go more niche and focus specifically on wings. So Wingstop was founded in 1994 and has already grown to over 1,000 locations worldwide. So Wingstop's initial franchise fee is $20,000 per store, and their development fee is 10 grand, both of which are relatively low. So on the surface, it appears to be a great option. However, they have a franchise commitment requirements. You can't open a single Wingstop location. You have to open a minimum of 3. So those numbers all need to be multiplied by 3 in order to get the true initial required commitment. A $60,000 franchise fee for 3 stores and a $30,000 development fee. And for ongoing fees, Wingstop charges a royalty fee of 6% of gross sales, a marketing fee of 4%, and a local ad and promotional fee of 1%. So that's 11% total, which is slightly higher than their competitors. So let me talk to you about the money here. So how profitable is a Popeyes franchise? Basically, you might be ready to finance your Popeyes franchise or put up the funding to get your very own location, right? But before you do so, you want to make sure you are going to have a profitable investment. So the financials in the Popeyes FDD allow prospective franchisees to get a glimpse of what profitability looks like for a Popeyes franchise. The results are in fact quite good when you think about it. So for the average Popeyes location, there is an EBITDA of just under $400,000 a year. That's quite sizable amount when you think about it, okay, for a franchise restaurant. Indeed, it might be one of the largest pools for opening a Popeyes franchise. So before you actually jump at the opportunity to start a Popeyes franchise, you want to consider the level of return required to make up your investment. So the exact profit you make from a location will vary too. So much will depend on your location, so the geography, the success of your operations, your involvement, the quality of your management and employees, and the business's overall performance. So put together, it's important to make specific calculations and be aware that average numbers may not end up being correct for the performance of your future Popeyes franchise, okay? So it's one of those things where you have to really think about what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Remember, Popeyes wants you to really have a liquid asset of $500,000, have also a net worth of $1 million, and also you have the 9% sort of cut every single year. So you have to really ask yourself, what kind of geography do you have to be in to really make sure that you get that cash? Now, the thing is that Popeyes actually generated total system-wide sales of $5.5 billion in 2021-2022. This means what? Even during COVID, they were still making money. People were still eating chicken wings and people were still making money. And so this is a franchise system that grows like 10 to 15% every single year. And now Popeyes does not release individual franchise performance data to the public. However, it's actually reported that the average annual sales per Popeyes restaurants in the U.S. are roughly 1.9 to 2.5 million, and they have been growing strongly. Like I said, even during COVID. So that's really good. And you have about 2,700 to 3,500 locations nationwide, and again, growing over and over. And by the way, they are also in over 25 other countries. So they're not just here in the States, they're also overseas. So what's the takeaway here? When you think about opening a franchise with Popeyes, this is a big commitment, okay? I'm not just speaking about the monetary aspect of things. Yes, you got to have the liquidity, the liquid assets of $500,000. You got to have a net worth of $1 million. And then you have to really think about the 50,000 initially, but also the 9% that you get, the 9% cut that Popeyes corporate takes. So it is really a big commitment. I'm not even talking about the geography, the location, all that kind of stuff, the training, okay? So it is actually a big commitment, both financially and professionally. So before jumping in, before actually jumping into it, make sure that you have figured out a viable route to financing and are prepared for the time and effort you have to commit in order to ensure your business is a success. So financing is important. You might have to get a business line of credit from a bank or a credit union. You might have to actually reach out to the SBA, the Small Business Administration, for financing. You might have to reach out to a third-party alternative lender for more financing. So you got to really think about the financial aspect of things too, okay? And also, you have to really look at the time it takes from your personal life, okay? I mean, taking all that into account, if you love that chicken from Popeyes and are ready to meet all the potential challenges that may come your way as a franchisee, then opening a Popeyes franchise might be the path to small business ownership that you have been looking for. One thing for sure, the brand is solid. People love chicken wings. I mean, it's beautiful. Like I said, you have to really test it. I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm not even hiding it. But you have you have to love the popularity, and also as long as you can really take care of the management aspect of things, you can actually take care of your team. You can take care of customer service. You can take care of running your business as a real business. Then you are good to go. So here's a recap into this conversation. I spoke to you about how to start a Popeyes franchise. I give you the general considerations, the evaluation, the cost, the conditions, the rivals, the money, the takeaway, and the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.